Welcome to episode 11 of Building Modular Dreams. I'm Andrew, Business Development Partner here at AJC Modular.
And I'm Mark, Sales Manager at AJC Modular. Great to be back.
We've covered a lot in our past episodes, from design and delivery to investment and legacy. But over the next 7 parts, we're doing something different. We're diving into the future of the Australian building industry and how modular isn't just an alternative anymore, it's the solution.
Absolutely. And to kick things off, we're starting with the elephant in the room, traditional construction. It's slow, it's unpredictable, and for a lot of everyday Aussies, it's simply broken.
Let's break it down. In 2024 alone, more than 2,000 building companies across Australia either collapsed or entered administration. That's more than 2,000 dreams shattered, unfinished homes, unpaid tradies, and homeowners left with nowhere to turn.
And the reasons are clear. Material shortages, labour delays, insurance premiums, compliance bottlenecks, fixed price contract blowouts. The system just isn't working anymore.
Not to mention the emotional toll. You sign a contract expecting a 12-month build, and 24 months later, you're still living with in-laws or paying rent. Your bill costs have gone up, the builder's blaming weather, you're stuck.
Meanwhile, your budget's been blown, your stress is through the roof, and you have no idea when or if you'll get your keys.
That's where modular comes in. Because everything we just described, it doesn't apply to the modular model.
We build in a controlled factory environment. No weather delays, no material shortages, because we bulk buy months in advance. No tradie no-shows. Our crew are there every day, same shift, same system.
And timelines? Locked in. We deliver buildings in 12 to 16 weeks from approvals, not 12 to 16 months. That's the power of prefabrication.
Plus, we're not just building shells. We're delivering complete homes, kitchens, bathrooms, cabinetry, appliances, the lot, all finished in a clean, dust-free factory.
Another thing modular solves? Site mess and disruption. If you've ever lived next to a traditional build, you know the pain. Mud, noise, trucks, trades, deliveries, bins overflowing.
With modular, your building arrives fully built. It's craned in and connected in days, no 6-month slog of scaffolding and jackhammers.
Let's also talk about cost. Traditional builds are blowing out by 20%, 30%, even 50% mid-project. Homeowners are being hit with variation after variation, and there's often no legal recourse.
With us, it's fixed price. You know your cost up front. No surprises, and because our systems are streamlined, we can offer better value for money than most site builders.
And let's not forget quality. Factory built doesn't mean lower quality. It means higher precision. Every wall is square. Every joint is checked. Every panel is inspected.
We follow rigorous quality control steps. Unlike site builds where it's, she'll be right, mate, our builds go through multiple checkpoints, photos, documentation, and final sign-off.
All of this adds up to trust. In an industry where trust has been shattered, modular is rebuilding it.
But it's not just about fixing what's broken. It's about offering something better. A new way to build. Faster, smarter, stronger.
In the next part, we're going to talk about how modular solves one of the biggest issues facing Australia, housing supply, and how it can help everyday families, governments, and developers meet demand in a way that traditional buildings simply can't.
So if you've ever felt let down by the old way of building, stick with us, because the future of Australian housing isn't delayed builds and budget blowouts.
It's modular, and it starts now. In part 1, we broke down what's wrong with traditional building and why modular is becoming the obvious solution. Today, we're zooming out and looking at one of the biggest issues facing Australia right now: housing supply.
We've got a crisis on our hands. Population growth is outpacing home construction at a rate we haven't seen in decades. And with immigration targets increasing and urban sprawl continuing, we simply can't build fast enough the old way.
According to the National Housing Finance and Investment Corporation, Australia needs to build over 1.2 million new homes by 2030 just to keep up. That's over 160,000 homes per year. But in 2024, we didn't even crack 100,000 completions. The gap is growing.
And that's not just affecting Sydney or Melbourne. Regional towns, coastal communities, agricultural hubs, they're all feeling the squeeze. Rents are skyrocketing. Vacancy rates are at record lows. First home buyers are getting pushed further out.
And the people most affected, nurses, teachers, tradies, retail workers, the very people who keep our towns and cities running, they're priced out, locked out, and left behind.
Traditional building methods can't catch up. They're too slow, too expensive, and too reliant on weather, labour, and lengthy approval chains.
That's where modular changes the game. We can deliver a fully completed, move-in ready home in 12 to 16 weeks, and we can build hundreds of them at the same time, in the same factory, regardless of where they're going.
That's right. Whether we're delivering to Western Sydney or a coastal block in Bateman's Bay, the build time is the same, and the quality is the same every single time.
This scalability is what governments and developers are finally starting to see. If we want to fix housing supply, we can't wait 2 years per build. We need batch production, consistent delivery, guaranteed timeframes.
And let's talk land use. Modular opens up new possibilities. Got a narrow block? We can build to fit it. Got a steep block? We can elevate the home on steel piers. Rural zoning? No problem. No mains power? Let's go off grid.
And infill is another big one. You've got a lot of councils now rezoning for dual occupancy or granny flats. Modular makes that easy. We can crane in a 2-bedroom unit into a suburban backyard with no disturbance to the main dwelling.
That means mum and dad stay in the front. The kids or grandparents move into the back, or you turn it into rental income. Either way, you're doubling housing supply on one lot.
Developers are now using modular to accelerate estate rollouts. Instead of waiting months between slab and frame, they're staging installs. 1 week, 3 homes go in. The next week, 4 more.
And from a financing and sales perspective, that creates cash flow sooner. Buyers can move in faster. The project de-risks itself.
Local governments are also getting involved. We've seen councils partner with modular builders to create social housing, worker housing, and short-term accommodation, all with factory precision and cost certainty.
There's also the opportunity for emergency response, bushfire zones, flood recovery. Modular is rapid. We can have homes ready and deployed within weeks, not years.
And let's not forget quality of life. These aren't tin sheds. Our buildings are fully insulated, architecturally finished, compliant with energy ratings, and built to last 50 plus years.
So we're not just throwing up a Band-Aid, we're building real homes, real communities, and real futures.
Another benefit, modular helps reduce pressure on infrastructure. Because the builds are faster and cleaner, they don't strain local services like roads, utilities, or trades in the same way traditional builds do.
It's more predictable, less disruptive, and better for regional economies.
So, whether you're a first home buyer, an investor, a developer, or part of a government housing task force, the message is the same. If you want to solve Australia's housing crisis, you need modular in your toolkit.
In part 3, we're going to go even deeper, looking at affordability, not just why traditional homes are unaffordable, but how modular flips the script and creates new pathways to ownership.
If you've ever felt locked out of the market, or like your dream of home ownership is slipping away, don't miss it. If you've ever felt like owning your own home is getting harder, not easier, you're not imagining things. In part 3, we're tackling the affordability crisis head on.
Yeah, we've heard the stories. First home buyers saving for 10 years only to find the goalposts moved again. Families being priced out of the suburbs they grew up in. Renters trying to save while paying skyrocketing rent. The current model is failing Australians.
Let's be honest. The traditional building and housing finance system just isn't working for the average person anymore. The median house price in Australia is over $750,000. Add stamp duty, legal fees, and holding costs, and suddenly you're closer to $1 million.
And that's not even talking about delays and blowouts. A house and land package might be advertised at $700,000, but by the time it's finished, you're pushing $900,000 or more, not to mention 2 years of stress.
Modular changes that. With modular, you can build a high-quality, architecturally finished home starting from around $150,000 to $200,000 turnkey. And it's done in as little as 12 to 16 weeks from approval.
That changes the equation. Suddenly, a young couple with $80,000 saved can buy a block in a regional town, build a home, and own it outright. No decades of debt, no mortgage stress. And they're living in it this year, not next decade.
Let's walk through a real example. We had a client who bought a small rural block for $95,000. They put a 2-bedroom modular from our Comfort series on it for $165,000. That's $260,000 all in. They borrowed $200,000, put in $60,000, and they're living mortgage-free within 10 years.
Compare that to $1 million mortgage in a major city. At 6% interest, you're paying $60,000 a year in interest alone. That's not affordable. It's a financial trap.
And modular doesn't just lower the buy-in cost, it also lowers the cost to live. Our homes are energy efficient, better insulation, lower heating and cooling bills, rainwater capture, off-grid solar options.
That means ongoing affordability. You're not just getting in cheaper, you're living cheaper too. And in today's energy market, that's a big deal.
We've also helped families create shared modular setups. One family bought a rural block and installed 2 modular homes, one for their parents, one for themselves. All up, it costs less than the median house price.
They each have privacy, independence, and equity, and no one's stuck in a retirement village or overpriced rental.
And that's the thing. We're not just talking numbers. We're talking dignity. People want to own something real. They want to feel proud of where they live. Modular delivers that.
It also gives people time back. You're not stuck in a construction site for 18 months. You're not chasing tradies or trying to figure out whether to go with brick or render. It's all sorted.
Another major affordability barrier? Finance. A lot of banks are still slow to understand modular. But that's changing. More brokers and lenders are offering tailored loan products for modular builds.
We work with finance specialists who understand how to structure modular home loans, progress payments, land loans, bridging finance. We can help first home buyers get into the market faster.
Then there's the government support. Depending on the state, modular home buyers may still be eligible for first homeowner grants, stamp duty concessions, and new build incentives.
We've helped dozens of clients access those benefits and apply them to their modular project. That's money back in your pocket. And another reason modular is the smart choice.
Affordability also isn't just about money, it's about security. And modular offers peace of mind, fixed price contracts, defined delivery timeframes, transparent inclusions.
No surprise invoices, we forgot the kitchen, everything is listed, everything is confirmed. That predictability is priceless.
And finally, speed. With modular, you can get from approval to move in just 3 to 4 months. That means less rent paid while you wait, less overlap, less cost.
If you're renting at $600 a week for an extra 12 months, that's over $30,000 wasted. With modular, that's $30,000 you keep.
So whether you're a first home buyer, a downsizer, a young family, or a retiree looking for a fresh start, modular makes the dream of ownership possible again.
In part 4, we'll explore how modular isn't just affordable, but future-ready. How smart design, sustainable living, and flexible technology are making modular homes the most forward-thinking builds in the country.
Because affordability is just the beginning. The future of Australian housing is smarter, faster, and more sustainable. We've talked about speed, affordability, and housing supply. But now, let's talk about something just as important, the future. Because in part 4, we're showing you how modular isn't just affordable, it's future-ready.
That's right. From sustainability to smart tech, modular homes are leading the charge. And while traditional builders are scrambling to catch up, we're already there.
Let's start with energy efficiency. Every AJC modular home is engineered with energy performance in mind. We're talking 6 to 7-star NatHERS ratings, insulation systems built into every wall, roof and floor, and airtight construction that minimises thermal loss.
That's not just for bragging rights. That's real money saved. Better thermal performance means lower heating and cooling costs, especially important as power prices keep rising.
Our buildings use pre-engineered panels that come with built-in insulation. No need for extra bulk bats or tricky site installs. It's consistent, it's airtight, and it's done before it even leaves the factory.
And that's only the beginning. Want to add solar? Easy. All our roofs are designed to accommodate panels. Rainwater tanks, plumbed in, electric vehicle charging points. We've done that too.
Plus, our systems support off-grid setups. If you're building in a rural or remote location, we can deliver a modular home that's 100% independent. Solar power, water tanks, composting toilets, you name it.
That's massive. Because as more Aussies look for lifestyle blocks, hobby farms or coastal escapes, modular makes it not just possible, but practical.
And let's not forget design flexibility. Our homes aren't cookie cutter. We offer multiple series, customizable floor plans, and options for sliding or stacker doors, highlight windows, covered decks, you name it.
You're not locked into one style or layout. You can build a minimalist tiny home, a beachside retreat, or a sleek urban studio, and they all look good, modern, architectural, and built to blend into your environment.
We've also embraced smart technology. Many of our customers are choosing to add home automation, things like smart lighting, climate control, security cameras, even voice-activated systems.
And because we build in a factory, those systems can be pre-installed and tested before the home is delivered. No retrofits, no surprises.
One of our favourite examples is the customer who built a 2-bedroom off-grid modular in Byron Bay. Full solar, smart appliances, passive cooling. They're living sustainably, independently, and in style.
And it's not just for singles or couples. We've got families using modular to create future-proof homes with adaptability, wider doorways, accessible bathrooms, expandable layouts.
Modular gives you the chance to plan ahead. You can start with one pod and later add a second or third. Build a studio now, then connect a 2-bedroom later. That's hard to do with bricks and mortar.
We're also seeing multi-generational families embrace modular. Parents in one home, kids in another, shared space in between, flexible, affordable, smart.
And future ready also means faster resale or repurpose. Need to sell the building? Move it? Need to relocate for work? Take your home with you. Traditional homes don't give you that kind of freedom.
Even councils are catching on. Some local governments are now zoning specifically for modular communities. Eco-villages, lifestyle parks, tiny home clusters, they all start with modular.
Then there's the waste factor. Traditional builds generate up to 40% of landfill on many construction sites. Our modular builds, less than 5% waste. And what is produced is mostly recyclable.
That's a win for the planet and your conscience.
Another big plus, predictability. Modular homes aren't subject to the same level of supply chain chaos. We control our timelines, our materials, and our trades.
So if you're planning for your future, downsizing, investing, retiring, relocating, modular gives you certainty. It's the closest thing to stress-free building you can find.
And for developers and investors, it's a scalable model that embraces environmental standards, appeals to modern buyers, and stands up to the scrutiny of tomorrow's building codes.
Because building future-ready homes isn't optional anymore. It's expected, it's demanded, and we're already there.
In Part 5, we're diving into lifestyle. How modular gives you back time, money, and flexibility to live how you want, where you want.
Because at the end of the day, building your dream isn't just about the house, it's about how you live in it.
In Part 4, we looked at how modular homes are setting the benchmark for smart, future-ready living. But now, in Part 5, let's bring it back to something even more personal, lifestyle. Because that's really what this whole journey is about, right?
Absolutely. People don't just want a house, they want freedom. Freedom to live where they want, how they want, with flexibility to change it as life evolves. That's what modular delivers.
Let's start with the location factor. Traditional homes often lock you into a particular area, usually near infrastructure, because of the time and cost to build. But modular flips that.
Because we build off-site, we can deliver anywhere. That means you can put a beautiful home in places most builders won't touch. Rural blocks, coastal properties, hobby farms, even mountaintop views.
And with minimal disruption. No trucks digging trenches for 6 months, no delays because the bricklayer didn't show. It's fast, clean, and seamless. Your dream block doesn't have to be a long-term construction zone.
That gives people the freedom to prioritise where they want to live, not just what they can afford within commuting distance to a CBD. It's a game changer for people chasing peace, nature, and space.
Let's also talk about design control, because modular doesn't mean cookie cutter. Our clients choose layouts, finishes, facades, even cladding colours. They're building homes that reflect them, not just a brochure.
We had a client last month who built a modern coastal style home in Yamba. Wide stacker doors, breezy decks, skylights. It was a complete vibe. You'd never know it was modular unless we told you.
Another built a compact modern black pod in the snowy mountains, sleek, warm, alpine style. Totally different feel, but the same modular foundation.
That level of personalisation means you're building the lifestyle you want. Whether that's minimalist and off-grid or spacious and tech-loaded, it's up to you.
Then there's time. This is a big one. Traditional building can drag on for a year or more. You're chasing trades, managing stress, burning weekends. It becomes a second job.
With modular, it's handled. You're not overseeing a dozen contractors. You're not re-quoting because prices changed. We do the work. You focus on life.
That gives you back your weekends. It gives you back your energy. And more importantly, it gets you into your new lifestyle faster. Why wait 12 months when you could be in within 3 to 4?
And this isn't just for young couples or investors. We've worked with retirees downsizing into compact modulars so they can travel more, spend less, and enjoy life.
One client sold their big suburban home and built a modular near the beach. With the leftover equity, they bought a caravan, hit the road for half the year, and Airbnb their modular while away.
That's lifestyle. That's modular.
Families are using modular to create room to grow, adding teenage retreats or extra bedrooms. Others are creating work-from-home studios. You're not stuck with one layout forever.
And when you're ready to change again, you can relocate the building, move it to a new block, sell it, use it as a holiday home. The options are endless. And
that flexibility extends to financial lifestyle too. Modular lets people reduce debt, avoid mortgage stress, and redirect their money into travel, investments, or early retirement.
We had a client who used modular to get out of the rental trap. They built a one-bedroom home on land gifted by family, no rent, no mortgage, just time and savings back in their hands.
That's transformational. It changes people's mental health, their relationships, their confidence. It's not just about the house. It's what the house enables.
And it's why we say modular is about living well. It's not about cheap. It's not about fast. It's about designing your life and building a home that fits around it.
Whether that's a couple raising chickens on a rural block, a family creating a multi-generational setup, or a solo traveller who wants a base between adventures, modular fits.
In part 6, we'll explore how businesses, developers, and even governments are leveraging modular to unlock commercial and community value fast.
Because this movement isn't just residential. Modular is reshaping how we think about all built environments. In part 5, we talked about lifestyle, how modular gives everyday Australians more time, freedom, and flexibility. But in part 6, we're looking at the bigger picture, because modular isn't just about individuals anymore.
Well, that's right. It's being embraced by developers, businesses, and even governments as a scalable solution to one of Australia's biggest challenges, delivering quality buildings quickly, affordably, and reliably.
Let's start with developers. The traditional development model is changing. Land banks are expensive, site works are slow, and buyers want results faster. Modular delivers on all 3 fronts.
We've worked with developers who've cut their build timelines in half, literally. Instead of staging slabs and waiting 6 to 12 months per stage, they're installing full modular homes every few weeks. The estate fills faster, the buyers move in sooner, and revenue hits earlier.
For medium-density developments, modular is a game changer. Think townhouses, dual occupancies, and worker accommodation. We can build entire blocks in sequence, truck them in, and install them with minimal local disruption.
One developer we worked with in regional New South Wales installed 12 units in just 6 weeks. The same job would have taken 8 months traditionally. That's a huge cash flow and logistics win.
Then there's the cost control, fixed pricing, reduced holding costs, predictable delivery. In a market where uncertainty is the norm, modular gives developers back control.
But it's not just private development. Governments, local and state, are coming on board too. From affordable housing projects to emergency recovery housing, modular is solving real problems.
After the 2022 floods, we helped deliver emergency modular homes to displaced families. Within weeks, they had safe, clean accommodation, complete with kitchens, bathrooms, insulation, and privacy.
That's not possible with traditional construction. Councils were struggling to find trades, material suppliers, and temporary solutions. Modular solved it.
We've also been part of social housing initiatives. High-quality modular duplexes delivered into community zones. Quickly, quietly and with dignity for the tenants.
These aren't substandard builds. They're beautiful, warm and modern. And because they're modular, the community isn't disrupted by months of on-site works.
Another big one is remote workforce housing. Think mining towns, agricultural hubs, and major infrastructure projects. Accommodation is always a bottleneck. Modular unlocks scalability.
A mining company recently engaged us to build 20 self-contained 2-bed units for FIFO workers. Delivered in batches, they were move-in ready in less than 90 days.
These were high-spec units too. Air conditioning, kitchenettes, full en suites, not dongas, real homes that attract and retain staff.
We're also seeing education use cases. Schools expanding with modular classrooms, universities adding student accommodation, childcare centres popping up in growing suburbs.
The benefit? They're compliant, flexible and fast. And when population needs change, the buildings can be repurposed or relocated. That's smart infrastructure planning.
Let's talk numbers. A traditional build might cost $3,000 per square metre when you factor in delays, site works and overheads. Modular often delivers at 20 to 40% less without compromising on quality.
Plus, developers don't have to carry land for as long. The quicker they build and sell or lease, the better their return on equity. Modular shortens that cycle significantly.
One client told us it shaved 6 months off their project timeline and saved them $120,000 in holding costs alone.
It's not just the financial ROI, it's the reputational one. Faster delivery, fewer complaints, better outcomes. For councils and developers, that builds trust.
And in a planning environment where housing targets and timelines are under pressure, modular helps meet those benchmarks.
Even sustainability targets are easier to hit. Modular creates far less waste. Panels are cut to specification. Materials are ordered in bulk. It's efficient, clean, and certifiable.
Which is why more tenders are specifying modular. Governments are setting higher ESG standards. Modular naturally aligns.
Let's not forget the scalability factor. Once the design is finalised and approved, we can repeat it dozens or hundreds of times. That's ideal for build-to-rent, co-living, retirement villages, and more.
And it doesn't mean cookie-cutter outcomes. Each building can still vary in colours, finishes, or orientation to suit the site. But the bones are fast and repeatable.
We're already partnering with councils to develop modular display homes and investment pods in strategic growth zones. It's about demonstrating what's possible.
And the feedback? Overwhelmingly positive. Clean sites, happy neighbours, fast occupancy, minimal disruption, everyone wins.
In part 7, we'll wrap up episode 11 with a look at where modular is going next and how it's not just a better building method, but a better movement.
We'll also reflect on how far the industry has come and what's ahead for those ready to build modular dreams of their own.
Here we are, part 7 of episode 11. If you've stuck with us through every part of this journey, we just want to say thank you. It's been a deep dive into what modular really is, why it matters, and where it's going. And in this final chapter, we're going to pull it all together.
Modular isn't just another construction method. It's not just a faster way to build. It's a new way to think about housing, investment, and infrastructure. And we believe it's the future of how Australia builds, period.
Let's recap quickly. We started by highlighting the problems with traditional construction. Delays, blowouts, builder collapses, uncertainty. Then we showed how modular flips all that. Speed, price certainty, quality control, simplicity.
From there, we talked about how modular helps fix Australia's housing supply crisis. The government can't build fast enough with old methods. Modular gives them an off-the-shelf solution that scales instantly.
And for everyday Aussies, modular means affordability. It brings home ownership back within reach for young families, downsizers, and first-time buyers. Homes from $150,000 that are move-in ready in under 16 weeks. That's unheard of in the traditional space.
Then we looked at innovation, smarter energy performance, sustainable construction, off-grid living. Modular doesn't just meet future standards, it sets them.
And lifestyle, how modular gives people back time, flexibility, and freedom. Build where you want, how you want, and change it as life evolves. That's living on your terms.
We've shown how developers are using modular to speed up projects and unlock returns faster, and how governments are turning to modular to meet social emergency and remote housing needs.
So where do we go from here? What's next for modular? And for anyone listening who's thinking, maybe this is the right path for me?
First, let's talk growth. We're seeing exponential interest from buyers, councils, and industry. Modular is no longer niche, it's mainstream. Every month, more people are stepping away from the broken systems and stepping into modular.
Our factory is expanding. We've doubled production capacity in the past 12 months. We've invested in new tech, new teams, and more designs to meet demand. And we're focused on increasing automation and AI in the build process to make modular even more efficient.
And we're not alone. The entire modular sector is maturing. More players, more suppliers, more financing options. Banks are waking up. Brokers are catching up. Governments are drafting legislation that finally recognises modular as essential to solving the housing crisis.
That's creating more accessibility. You no longer need to be a cash buyer or a land developer to go modular. Everyday people are doing it and succeeding.
We're also seeing diversification. More off-grid builds, more custom homes, more tiny houses, more luxury modulars, and even larger scale commercial developments using modular technology.
So what's the opportunity here? Well, if you're a home buyer, it's time to explore a smarter way to build. Skip the delays, skip the stress. Talk to someone who can show you what's possible.
If you're an investor, modular gives you better yields, faster payback periods, and assets you can move, lease, or sell. It's real estate, but agile.
If you're a developer or builder, modular helps you scale. Faster delivery, fewer site headaches, happier clients. Your reputation grows along with your portfolio.
And if you're a council, a policymaker, or in the housing sector, modular is your answer to affordability, sustainability, and fast-track community growth.
But it's not just about business. Modular is personal. It's about building something that gives you options, now and into the future.
Like the family that used modular to move back onto a block that's been in their family for generations. Or the single parent who got out of rent and into their own home in just 14 weeks.
Or the investor who turned a $160,000 modular build into a $700 a week rental and used that income to buy their second and third. Or the couple who built a home for their adult child with a disability, giving them independence in a safe, nearby home.
These aren't outliers. These are real people using a real solution. People who got tired of waiting, tired of compromises, and decided to build smarter.
And that's what we want for you, whether you're building a home, an income stream, or a legacy. Because the best part of modular isn't just what it is, it's what it unlocks.
Modular unlocks equity, it unlocks lifestyle, it unlocks time, freedom, opportunity. It brings the power back to the individual. It puts control back in your hands.
So, what's your next step?
It could be a phone call, a walkthrough of our display yard, an email, a site assessment, or maybe just diving deeper into what modular really looks like for your specific goal.
And we're here for that. We've built thousands of homes. We've worked with first-timers and seasoned investors. We know the questions, the challenges, and the wins.
We'll guide you through the entire journey from design to delivery and beyond, with honesty, clarity, and commitment.
Because it's not just about building houses. It's about helping people build the life they want.
And we genuinely believe that modular is the best way to do it, not just for now, but for the long term. For individuals, for communities, for Australia.
We'll leave you with this. Every great change starts with a conversation. And we hope this podcast has sparked one for you.
The future of Australian housing is modular. It's here. It's proven. It's ready. Are you?
Thanks for being part of episode 11. We'll catch you soon for episode 12, where we dive into how to choose the right modular builder and what separates the great ones from the rest.
See you there. And remember, don't just build modular.